bit closer. Sorry, can you hear me now? Is that better? Thanks. Sorry. Comprized is an online platform for creating a prize promotion. It helps you engage online, collect email addresses, and increases your visibility. And we went live on Saturday there, put some test users on board for the first time. So my journey is really a journey to the start. It's taken nearly 2 years to go from idea to OMG, we're actually live. And hopefully I'll give you some tips that might make your journey a little bit faster if you're heading down that route. Prior to Comprized, I helped SMEs, very small SMEs, with their online marketing. So my passion would be really giving them value and then empowering them to take control of their own online presence, using cool tools such as MailChimp and WordPress. And during this 5 years, I never once thought about creating my own product. I have no idea why. Sometimes you become so tunnel visioned in what you're doing that you don't look outside your own little bubble. But finally, probably mid-2011, I had my eyes open to the world of global tech startups and global scalable businesses. And I started thinking about what problem did my clients have, what did I have that could potentially be solved with a product. And of course, online marketing, I looked at lead generation, and the solution we came up with was Comprized. With software development, you need money. Developers cost quite a lot of money, and I didn't have any money. I was self-employed. So I looked at the 40k proof of concept, which is a great fund here in Northern Ireland, and I set about applying. But unfortunately, the fund had dried up, and nobody really knew when it would return. So I was stuck in a position where I'd been introduced to this fantastic new world. I was really excited about it, but I had no money to do anything with it. So I thought, I had a couple of options. I could have perhaps paper pitched for some investment. I could have taken out a loan. But I decided I was going to work hard for a year, learn more about the clients, learn more about software development and tech startups, and save some cash, possibly apply for R&D support maybe later that year. That's exactly what I did. I even brought a software consultant on board to help me build a technical specification document. I put it out for proposal, and 10 months later I had saved close to £10,000 and was ready to apply for R&D support. Again, I did that, got the letter of offer, very pleased, just as the proof of concept was re-announced. So I hemmed and I had, and the difference between the two is really that proof of concept is 100% grant. It's so much better for your cash flow if you're working on a product that you can get out for around about the £40,000 mark or less. And I thought, well, it's been 10 months already. I've been working for 10 months. What's another month? I'll write the application. So I wrote the application, put the application in, got the call to say, hey, yeah, come and pitch. And I pitched and I got it. So as you can imagine, a full year has really passed since the idea was conceived, and getting that money, getting the letter of offer to say you have that money, it's mental. Sorry, my voice is going a bit dry here. I'm just going to get some water. Yeah, it took a year to get to this point, so getting that letter of offer was absolutely amazing. And I really thought I had it made at that point. I'd spent a year preparing. I had my technical specification document. I had much better knowledge, I suppose, about software development and tech startups. And I had half a dozen really good proposals. So I was naive enough to literally think that, hey, I had the instruction manual. It was pretty much, like going to B&Q, follow the instructions, and 3 or 4 months later, I would have a business. I was fairly confident I would have something out for the Dublin Web Summit in October. But really, this was the start of another journey, and it was a journey that was going to take me almost another year. It's been a bit of a roller coaster ride. I've worked with software developers in Northern Ireland and abroad, consultants and freelancers. But I'd done my reading and I was fairly well versed, so most of my problems were actually people problems. They weren't technical. The bottom line is that people get sick and people have accidents. Some people just aren't nice people, but for the best part, they generally are. But whenever you're starting out, if you're highly reliant on a very small group of people, perhaps only one or two, that's a huge, huge part of your business, and it can very quickly go pear-shaped. So I was left in a position whereby I had to try and source a new development partner mid-development. And if there's any techies in the room, you'll know that onboarding somebody mid-development is absolutely horrible. And bear in mind, I'm not technical, and I didn't have anybody to help me with this particularly. But I got the developers on board, and everything got back on track. And I have to say, it's a lot to do with these guys. This is a program called Propel, which I was really fortunate to get on. And there's lots of programs and lots of events throughout Belfast now. There's lots of support available. And had it not been for surrounding myself with these people, I don't think I'd got through my development ups and downs. It's all well and good having family and friends, but the people who are actually sort of in the trenches experiencing the same difficulties as you can be priceless, really. And as I said, it's my journey to the start, and we finally went live into a private beta just on Saturday there. This is the first promotion that has went on the system by a client, and if you like, you can visit it. It's bit.ly/TechX14. It's probably not perfect, and it probably shouldn't be. I've been told if it is perfect, then I've released it far too late. But if you have a moment and you'd like to check it, I'd appreciate any feedback, because there's so many browsers and devices and things you've got to support out there that it's very difficult to test them all. So, in summary, I suppose some of the do's and don'ts is, firstly, take your blinkers off, because I worked in online marketing and I was on the internet for nearly 5 years. I was in my own little bubble and I was so obsessed with it that I didn't see the opportunities outside, which were, maybe product development, global scalable business. When it comes to finding money, it can take an awful lot longer than you expect. It took me nearly a year to get the 40K proof of concept. And sometimes these funds come in cycles, and if you just miss the cycle, that can really put you back. The development, I could write a book on the development, but the bottom line is it's people. And people do get sick, people have accidents. I'd also recommend working in very small, tight little iterations, always getting little bits of working software out there. At least you've got something to move forward with if things do go a little bit wrong. And one final thing with development, it's going to take you a lot longer than you ever expect. Most of the time, estimates can be off by a factor of 2 or 3, sometimes even more. So build that into your plan. And finally, to get there, I would say surround yourself with support. Take advantage of all the support that is available in Northern Ireland, because it's pretty exceptional whenever you look elsewhere. So yeah, that was my journey to the start, and feel free to drop me a message if you'd like to ask any questions.
Carley, thank you very much indeed. Can I just ask one question? Where does it go now? What next?
What next? So usually you put out your first test users and you get a few bugs, and then you start fixing a few bugs, and then people will start asking for lots more features, and probably my head will get a little bit frazzled. The coming months is really just onboarding people very slowly so that we can weed out those problems and do some testing. Really then we're looking to see who our real customer is, and I would say maybe by August or September have a full-blown beta, maybe even a revenue-generating product released.
As early as this autumn?
Well, my Propel milestone is supposed to be August. I don't know if that's a little bit ambitious, but I'm going to go for it anyway.
Okay. Well, listen, thank you very much. I'm sure there's going to be loads of questions from the floor, so we'll let you sit down now, and